Hey everyone, it's Venom. Today I'm going to be guiding you through installing Echo VR onto your Quest headset using a new tool called the Echo VR Installer for your PC. This will be a three-part series that'll cover installing the game onto your Quest if you were a previous owner, installing onto your PC if you were a previous owner, and then lastly, we'll eventually get to installing onto a Quest if you've never owned the game before. Before we get started, here's everything you're going to need in order to complete this setup. You'll need your Quest headset, a PC, a USB-C cable, and developer mode needs to be enabled on your Quest. More on this later, don't worry, it's super easy to set up. Okay, so real quick, I want to address that not every possible issue that could pop up is going to be covered in this video. This application is still in alpha, however Marcel's done a fantastic job in making the process very simple. It was pretty seamless for me, but I am including any situations that did cause me some hiccups when I was setting it up, as they may happen to you and may assist in any troubleshooting. With that out of the way, let's get started. First off, go to the link in the description of this video labeled Echo VR Installer. It should pull up Marcel 1's page on GitHub. From there, we're looking for the releases section of the page. Here we have the v0.3 version of the installer. I take you here first in case the version does change. This link should always make sure that the latest version of the installer is easily accessible. Once we're on the latest release page, we'll select the version of the installer according to the PC's OS. In this video, there are options for Windows and Linux, but I believe that Marcel is also including a version for Mac as well. I'm running Windows, so I'll go ahead and click the link to download the zip file. Once complete, we'll open up our File Explorer and view our downloads. Here we can see the zip file we just downloaded. Now I'm not going to overcomplicate this by moving the folder around, this is just how I did it for the sake of setting up the game on my Quest 3. So the next step is to just select the zip file, right-click it, extract all, and I'm going to place it back in the downloads folder as well. Give it some time to extract the files, and since I had the Show Extracted Files When Complete box checked, it will automatically open a new window once finished. The next step is to open the folder, and we're looking at the application version of the Echo VR installer. Before double-clicking to open the app, we're going to do this a little differently. We actually need to select the app, right-click, and then run as administrator. A pop-up will appear, which apparently Windows blacks out when recording, so here are some screenshots of what you will see. Now, I understand security concerns. This is a point that you will have to determine if it is worth it or not. But according to Marcel, it just does this with any unsigned app, and he's got plans to try to get it signed by Microsoft, but he's just not sure if it's possible. Regardless, I'm going to select more info and then run anyway. If you receive this notification, you'll know that it was a success. Let's click OK, and then here we are, officially in the Echo VR installer. I'm actually going to pause this now for a few seconds, as the next part is vitally important. In order to install the game to your Quest headset, your Quest needs to have developer mode enabled. This honestly does not take a ton of time, and I don't really want to mess around with creating another account, resetting my headset and all that just to show how to turn on developer mode. So I put a link in the description that will show you step by step on how to do this. So please pause this video, quickly set that up, and then come back. It's super simple. Don't give up here. All right, so now that you have dev mode set up, we're actually going to go back into the installer application. So, there are several options in here. We have installations for PC and for Quest. The top are for players who have owned Echo before, and the options in the boxes below are going to be for new players. Because I wanted to go ahead and get this video out for you all, as I'm sure most of my viewers are former players, we're going to do the simple Quest install in the top right. Clicking the install button will pop up a notification, just quickly telling you that this option is only for those who have previously owned Echo. Select OK. And here's where things get super efficient. In the past, there were a bunch of files that you would have to download and put them in the proper folders on your headset. Well, here we select Start Download and, well, okay, I guess I broke it. But according to Marcel, it may sometimes crash here. I actually wasn't sure if I did something wrong, so I went back in and selected the Show More text and enabled private networks before selecting Allow. But apparently that may not have been necessary, so just give it another shot if it does crash. The good news is we can now see the files downloading. It took about 7 or so minutes on my computer, so just sit back, hydrate, and wait for it to finish. Next, there's a button for Optional Config, which according to Marcel is for those who use a different config.json than the one used in the Echo VR Lounge. Now, I'm not a programmer. I like to throw discs in VR. That stuff is way over my head. So do with that information what you will, and if you have questions about it, the Echo VR Lounge has some wonderful people who are definitely more knowledgeable than I am to answer questions about that for you. So instead, we're going to just select Install Echo to Quest, and oh yeah, here's another problem. So I've had developer mode enabled before, at least on my Quest 2 when I was getting games from SideQuest. So I did check in the headset system settings that I had it enabled, and I sure did, but apparently there's also a setting that needs to be checked in the Quest mobile app. You can find it by opening the app, selecting the menu, devices, your headset, headset settings, and then if you properly set up your account for dev mode earlier, you'll see a setting in here to enable it as well. So once that's done, you'll need to disconnect and reconnect your headset to your PC, and inside the headset a pop-up will appear asking if you want to enable debug mode. Allow it, as well as enabling your PC to recognize the headset. Once that's done, click that button again to install and wait for it to finish. The installer will prompt you once the installation has been completed, so stay with me here, we're almost finished. At this point, Marcel states it here, and I suppose we really can't stress this enough, but do not click on restore when you get asked about it in the headset. It will remove the game, and you'll have to install it all over again. So you've been warned, I've said it, I made it bold on your screen. Please listen to me so you don't have issues with it in the future. Alright, so here we go. Let's boot up Echo, and guess what? You still can't play it. But it's no big deal though, I promise. We're so close. The solution is simple. Your account is actually all set up in the Echo VR Lounge Discord server. So yes, you'll have to join it, create a Discord account if you need to. I promise it's worth it, and they aren't going to spam you with any ads or anything. It's literally there just because it's the cleanest way that they could set up connecting your account again. So let's go back to the description of this video one more time, and you'll see an invite link to a Discord server called Echo VR Lounge. Once in, you'll see a channel called Command Central under Echo VR Help, and here's where you'll type in the command /link-headset, and then the 4-character code that was displayed in Echo's menu screen. The link is almost instantaneous, so once it shows that your account has been linked, you'll need to close Echo and reopen it one last time. As you can see, I'm being asked if I want to restore the app or not, and since I listened to Marcel, I'm selecting Open App. Now, check it out. Our play button is back. Everything looks just like it used to. Let's select play, and guess what? We're back home in the lobby. Now, you've gone through all this effort, you can now play the game. But real quick, there are just a few things that I want to touch on. Yes, pubs work. Just press the button and you'll queue for a game just like the old days. However, backfills I think are a little different than before. I rarely have games that are less than 4v4, but just be aware that depending on how many players are online, your results may vary. Parties are a bit different. I've never been much of a partier in Echo, so I haven't messed around with it a whole lot, but I think they are actually created in the Discord server rather than in-game. Also, stats were wiped. However, a recent update is now tracking stats again, so hey, enjoy that grind to level 50 that you haven't done in half a decade. Lastly, privates are mostly set up using Spark and Spark Mini. I'm a PC player, so I'm not super familiar with Mini, but I suppose if there's enough demand for it, I can make a tutorial on how to get that set up as well. Anyway, I'm done talking. Please like and subscribe if you feel like helping me out a little bit. I'm so excited that we have a simple way to get back into Echo again. And as always, I'll see you in the arena.